Thank you. It is an honor to be here today to be in such great company with all the awardees for your special recognition that you received from your superintendents. Now, this is my first time attending the Farmington Valley Superintendents Association banquet, so I wasn't sure how long I would speak, so I'll prepare my remarks. So I called the office and I said, how long should I prepare the remarks for? And I was told, well, long enough to be interesting, but not long enough to be boring. And I said, well, that's the barometer that I try to use on all my speeches. So here we go. I'm going to talk about leadership and community service to others beyond yourself. And it's really directed towards the students, but I think it's applicable to everyone in the room. Leadership is about getting out of bed without falling. It's as simple as that. When you were an infant, you probably pulled yourselves up to the side of your crib and started wailing, and then a gentle giant in your eyes would come and lift you out and take you out of bed. Or as you progressed in your years, maybe you were laying on the couch and you fell asleep and you rolled just one too many times and kaplunk, you're on the floor. You're out of bed, but you were awake and maybe not the way you wanted to. But nowadays, when the alarm clock goes off, you leap out of bed because the school day is fast approaching. You race to your feet, you shower, you eat, you comb your hair, you brush your teeth, you put on matching clothing, and you're in your first period class within 30 minutes. And you say, well, what does this have to do with me, and how does this pertain to leadership? Well, each and every one of us starts our day by getting out of bed. And from that point forward, we are judged by others and we're looked upon by many. As leaders, we must continue the never-ending process of self-analysis and self-improvement. As a leader, you serve as a role model and should lead like you want to be led. Former General and President of the United States, Dwight D. Eisenhower, once claimed that leadership is the art of getting someone else to do something you want done because they want to do it. Maybe you're already experiencing the role of a leader. You might have a younger sibling up at home that looks to you as a leader, or you're a captain of a sports team in school. You participate in activities in your church or your neighborhood. Or quite frankly, you teach your parents the new way of doing math. Leadership requires hard work. It's not good enough just to work hard and requires others to do so. No, you lead by raising the bar as high as possible and doing rather than demanding. In simple terms, do exactly as you say and mean what you say. Practice graciousness and humility often, because judging a person does not define who they are, it defines who you are. Let me ask you a question. What are your passions in life? And we all have them, and don't tell me that you don't. Because if you can sit there right now and look me in the eye and say, I don't have any passions, then I say to you, I don't believe you. Because passion is what keeps us going. It is the oxygen to our lungs. If you have a passion to sing, then shout it out. Join a chorus, start a band, become part of a musical, but get yourself on that stage. You need to meet people, to build relationships. You need to get out of your shell. You need to get out of your comfort zone. You've got to be willing to fail in order to succeed. If you have a passion for art, then get a piece of paper and do your thing, whether it's designing, sculpting, or drawing. Dreams don't come true if you don't pursue them. If you have a passion for building, then do it. If you don't know how to do something, then learn. If you have difficulty learning, then ask, because then and only then will you succeed. Nobody is going to hand you your dream on a silver platter. You are a human being, the smartest and most complex mammal on this planet. So don't tell me no, I don't know how, and I can't do it. You need to dig deep inside yourselves, get that little push, feel that nervous butterfly energy, and use it to your advantage. It's hard and it's difficult, but it's worth it. You can, you will, and you have, because you wouldn't be here today if you didn't. To be a good leader, you must identify your passion and seek them out. In addition to pushing yourself to succeed, you also have to learn to combat your fear. All of our greatest leaders have led others in times of anxiety or panic. But before you can calm others, you must learn to conquer your own fears. 50 years ago today, during this program's hours, our country suffered one of the worst nightmares in our nation's history. We lost an incredible leader. President John F. Kennedy was gunned down. The country was horrified by the selfish taking of a human life. So much was at stake during the Kennedy administration. America was at the height of the Cold War with the USSR. We were sending military personnel to a country known as Vietnam for a police action, and the civil rights movement was gaining momentum. there was a sense of nationwide fear. Fear of another world war on the horizon, fear that an attack on the heart of our government would somehow render us helpless, and fear that our country would be polarized in the eyes of our allies for its involvement in Vietnam. It is in times of fear that strong leadership guides us to recovery. I believe we look to the past to figure out where we are today to plan for tomorrow. And sometimes we're placed in these not so comfortable situations, but I recall the words of a president that walked to a microphone to quell the fears of the American people as we entered World War II. The only thing we have to fear is fear itself, because there are two types of people in this world when it comes to attitude and thought process. There are those that wait for the opportunity to come their way, but they wait endlessly for that magic moment to happen, and it never does. So they end up taking a job that they did not desire, doing menial tasks that they despise, getting up every morning going to a job that they know they're not going to be happy at, all because they weren't willing to take a risk. In other words, they were consumed by fear. The second sets of people are those that make opportunities for themselves. They make their own luck, so to speak. They are the entrepreneurs and business owners of today. They are the ones that wake up every morning wanting to go to work, to do something right. There is nothing holding them back. Remember, you are your own driving engine and your own brake. You are the only one who can determine your fate. Make good use of your time by blessing those around you with your company, your knowledge, and your commitment to excellence and to leadership. For leaders can be found in every aspect of your daily lives. How many students have gone on a field trip this year with parent chaperones who have donated their time, giving you the opportunity to learn outside the classroom? How many of you have participated in a town recreation league coached by a parent volunteer? How many of you have joined the Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts, whose motto is duty to God and country, duty to help others at all times, and duty to self? How many of you have gone to a Board of Education meeting? You know, those elected officials who have given so graciously of their time on a volunteer basis to make sure you receive the top-notch education that your schools are currently providing to you. How often have you heard the wail of a siren or seen the bright red fire truck race by on its way to an emergency? These people are all leaders in your community. Now, I spoke of the many different types of leaders, from educators to firefighters to volunteer board members, to scout leaders, spiritual leaders, peer counselors, and being somebody's best friend. But I neglected to talk about one particular group of volunteers. And I did so on purpose because these volunteers are the ones I base my entire speech on. They continue to inspire on me in their dedication, not only to their fellow men and women, but to their country as well. The leaders I speak of are the members of the military. This great nation is founded on volunteerism. From the Minutemen to the countrymen of today, that volunteer spirit of our soldiers willing to make that supreme sacrifice that we may continue to lead the lives that we have so become accustomed to is truly inspiring. Several weeks ago, I received a call from Superintendent Case, and he asked me if I'd be willing to come today to speak about the topic of leadership and community of service to others. And I said, absolutely, thank you, right away. I hadn't immediately thought of what I was going to speak of to put that in somewhat context, but that very afternoon I attended a ceremony in the city of Torrington, and they were honoring veterans who had taken residence and treatment at a nursing home. The meeting was organized to unveil the new Wall of Honor, a tribute to the men and women living in that home for the service that they rendered to their country. Well, all the dignitaries were seated behind the podium at the Great Hall, while the Torrington High School Junior ROTC assembled into another anteroom to meet the veterans. The bagpipes started to play, and one by one, the ROTC members escorted the veterans into the great room. The first wave included those veterans that could walk in unassisted. The second wave were those walking in with the assistance of a walker. The third wave, the ROTC candidates proudly walked next to the veterans who wheeled themselves in the wheelchairs into position. And finally, the last wave were the junior ROTC members that held the hands of those veterans too weak to sit as they entered the great room in their hospital beds. Once everybody had gathered into the great room, the colors were presented. First flag, the Navy, Army, Air Force, Marines, and Coast Guard. Last, but certainly not least, the grandest flag of all. The stars and stripes of our great country could be seen above head and shoulders, standing erect and as bright as a comet flying across an evening sky. As the flag entered the room, the veterans that could stand did. There were a number of veterans that attempted to stand, but could not. But every single one of them, including those too weak to stand, raised their right hand to their temple to salute the flag. the flag of the United States of America, the symbol of our country, the greatest country on this planet. We are proud to say we are Americans, and we live in a country full of incredible leaders. Our flag has become a symbol for selfless leadership, bravery, and strength. When the towers fell on that fateful day in September 2001, we erected our flag to show our strength, our unity, and our love of each other. As we start each governmental meeting, we raise our hands like we did this afternoon across our heart and pledge our allegiance to our flag. And as we stand at the podium at the Olympic Games while the Star-Spangled Banner is played, our flag is raised high above our heads. We show the world that no matter your background, your color, or your religious beliefs, you are the best in all the world, for you live in the land of the free and the brave where dreams do come true. Students, now is the time for you to pick up the torch. Time to lead your fellow students to a greater place, a place where we celebrate gratitude, humility, and family, especially as we near our country's holiday of giving thanks, Thanksgiving. We ended our program that day in Torrington with the reading of a poem by Don Miller named My Name is Old Glory, and I thought it appropriate to do the same today. I am the flag of the United States of America. My name is Old Glory. I fly atop the world's tallest buildings. I stand watch in America's halls of justice. I fly majestically over great institutes of learning. I stand guard with the greatest military power in the world. Look up and see me. I stand for peace, honor, truth, and justice. I stand for freedom. I am confident. I am arrogant. I am proud. When I am flown with my fellow banners, my head is a little higher, my colors a little truer. I bow to no one. I am recognized all over the world. I am worshipped. I am saluted. I am respected. I am revered. I am loved, and I am feared. I have fought every battle of every war for more than 200 years. Gettysburg, Shiloh, Appomattox, San Juan Hill, the trenches of France, the Aragon Forest, Anzio, Rome, the beaches of Normandy, the deserts of Africa, the cane fields of the Philippines, the rice paddies and jungles of Guam, Okinawa, Japan, Korea, Vietnam, and a score of places long forgotten by all but those who were with me. I was there. I led my soldiers. I followed them. I watched over them. They loved me. I was on a small hill in Iwo Jima. I was dirty, battle-worn, and tired, but my soldiers cheered me, and I was proud. I have been soiled, burned, torn, and trampled on the streets of countries I helped set free. It does not hurt, for I am invincible. I have been soiled, burned, torn, and trampled on the streets of my country, and when it is by those with whom I have served in battle, it hurts, but I shall overcome, for I am strong. I have slipped the bonds of earth and stand watch over the uncharted new frontiers of space from my vantage point on the moon. I have been a silent witness to all of America's finest hours, but my finest hour comes when I am torn into strips to be used for bandages for my wounded comrades on the field of battle, when I fly at half-mast to honor my soldiers, and when I lie in the trembling arms of the grieving mother at the graveside of her fallen son. I am proud. My name is Old Glory. Dear God, long may I wave. Thank you.